characters of the Greek and Roman myths. Lucius Junius Brutus. Lucius Junius Brutus was the son of the Roman king's sister, Tarquinia. He became one of the first consuls of the Roman Republic in 509 BC after he significantly contributed to the fall of the Roman monarchy in 510 BC. He is mentioned in the History of Rome by Titus Livius. It is stated that Brutus swore to overthrow the monarchy after he found that Lucretia, a Roman matron, was raped by Sextus Tarquinius, the king's son, and committed suicide afterward. The example of Lucius Junius Brutus shows how seriously Romans took oaths. He did overthrow the monarchy as he had sworn, established the republic, and made people swear they would never tolerate kings again. When Brutus learned his sons were conspiring to re-establish the monarchy, he watched them being scourged and executed as traitors but did not break his oath to help them. Telemachus. Telemachus was the son of Odysseus and Penelope in Greek mythology. Homer depicts him as a 20-year-old person who turns from a scared boy into a virile man. Telemachus is one of the key characters of Homer's The Odyssey, where he, after being visited by Athena, goes to look for his father who left approximately 20 years ago to fight in the Trojan War. The story of the Odyssey depicts, in particular, an ideal family for ancient Greeks, where the man went to war, the woman stayed at home and brought up the son, and the son went to look for his father. Penelope stayed resilient and faithful to her husband, despite the tremendous pressure she was put under by the suitors, although Odysseus had several romantic encounters in his travels, which demonstrates the double standards of the ancient Greek culture. Telemachus matured, found his father, and avenged his mother. And Odysseus, having returned home, also found his father and reunited with his whole family. Hector. Hector was the greatest Trojan hero and military leader in the Trojan War. He was the eldest son of King Priam and Queen Hecuba of Troy. Hector is one of the characters of Homer's The Iliad. He is also mentioned in other texts, for example, Gaius Julius Hyginus' Fabulae. In the Iliad, Hector is shown as a brave warrior of the Trojan people. His behavior is heroic, for he fights for his native city, kills numerous enemies, and dies for the sake of his polis. He is also a devoted family man, and he dies protecting not only his city but also his wife Andromache, and his son Scamandrius. Hector, therefore, is an example of a heroic man in the Greek culture, even though he was a Trojan. Romulus. Romulus, according to Roman myths, was the founder and the first king of the city of Rome. Together with his twin brother Remus, he was a son of Rhea Silvia, a Vestal virgin, and the god of war and agriculture, Mars. Having been abandoned in their infanthood, the twins were raised by animals. They are often portrayed as babies suckling a she-wolf. Plutarch tells of Romulus' life in his Parallel Lives. Romulus supposedly lived in the 8th century BC, the century when Rome was founded. According to Plutarch, Romulus and Remus argued on which hill to establish a new city. Romulus won a bet by seeing more vultures, but later Remus found out that Romulus cheated. That made Remus angry, and he started obstructing the process of building. For that, Remus was killed, possibly by Romulus. Therefore, Rome was built on violence, which is tied to the Roman history of constant war and conquest. Medea. In Greek mythology, Medea was a princess of Colchis, a daughter of the Colchian king Aetes, and a granddaughter of Helios, the god of the sun. She was an enchantress who used magical powers to help Jason obtain the Golden Fleece. She is mentioned in several texts, in particular, in Seneca's play Medea. Having helped Jason get the Golden Fleece, Medea married him and was a good wife, producing 2 sons for him. However, Jason was unfaithful. He abandoned her because of another woman. Seneca tells the story of Medea's revenge. She killed her and Jason's 2 sons to take vengeance. It is stated that she murders in the myth because she represents the East, which was barbaric according to Greek beliefs. Mars. Mars, according to ancient Roman beliefs, was the god of war and agriculture. His origins are obscure. In some myths, he is said to be a son of Juno alone. He is usually depicted with his spear. He is present in some sources. For instance, Plautus mentions him in his play Truculentus, writing that Mars' spouse was Nereine. Mars was one of the main gods in Roman mythology, for both war and husbandry played important roles in ancient Roman culture. The name of the month March was derived from Mars's name. March was the time to both plant crops and start wars. The fact that Mars was believed to be the father of Romulus, the founder of Rome, also made Mars important for the ancient Romans.